You're watching the Cowboys Report. I am Tom Downey here with the mailbag, answering all of your questions live with the questions that also came in via Super Thanks. Several of those we'll get to here. First up from Luis D. Garza. O-line, Josh Ball is horrible. Alarcon is the answer. Give the kid a chance. I was very disappointed by the play of Josh Ball in the first preseason game. I think he's better on the right side than he was at left tackle. With the injury to Matt, well, let's go. Dallas took Alarcon from right guard and put him at from left guard, put him at left tackle. Against lesser competition immediately, I thought Alarcon played better than Josh Ball. So pick one for me, JB or IA. Who would you rather have? If you had to pick one, no free agent options available at left tackle. Let me know in the comments section. More super thanks. First up from Rojan. Do you feel like since we get targeted for penalties so much, it takes away from the other team's penalties? The Cowboys have consistently been one of the most penalized teams in the NFL the past couple of years. That's a huge red flag. At least some of it is on refs making bad calls. I've also seen them make bad calls in favor of Dallas. So is it a part of it? Sure. Is it the only reason? No. Dallas has to be more disciplined. We can blame half of the flags, a massive amount, on the officiating. That doesn't excuse false starts, illegal formations, and lining up offsides and late hits. Not the Sam Williams one, the Terrell Basham one. And lining up offsides on field goals. Like, that's just mistakes. Figure it out. Now, we've also added, YouTube as I should say, super thanks. You can comment outside of live shows and donate as part of it. Click the thanks icon, send in your question, comment, whatever. We appreciate your support, those of you who do it, and we'll give you a shout out like we are right now. From Massive Matt, do you think that DeMarcus Lawrence has been underrated by the fan base? I do. He's one of the best run defenders in the league and has always had a great pass rush win rate, which matters. It does depend on who you ask, who you talk to. But I do think Tank Lawrence is one of the more, maybe disrespected by some. People get so caught up in the money, which is a lot. He's now making less, just so we're clear about it. He took a pay cut to stick around. Injuries were a problem in 2021. He wasn't as productive in 2020 as the team just was behind in a bunch of games. I want to get back to 2018 Tank Lawrence. But when he's out there, he is consistently among your team leaders in splash plays. For example, last year, it's not in the stat sheet. He had a quarterback hit that led to an interception. Popped up in the air, picked off. Tank Lawrence made that play, but he gets no credit in the stat sheet, and some people simply just only want a stat sheet. So I do think DeMarcus Lawrence is at least a little bit underrated. What do you guys think? We'll leave it up to the people here. Do you think Tank Lawrence is underrated? Y for yes or N for no? Sound off in the comment section. Blue Star, another $5 super thanks. Thanks. Trade for a swing tackle. If Dak gets time like this, I like this receiving group. What tackle could we get in a trade? Here's the problem you run into with trades. There are basically no teams that have 4 good offensive tackles. They don't exist. Guys, Chaz Green is still in the NFL playing in the preseason. That's how bad offensive line play is in the NFL. So you could try to trade for one, but there are very few teams open to moving their third tackle. And if they are, that's a pretty big red flag. Frankly, maybe you just go try to sign Eric Fisher. From Kevin Lopez, who wins a one-on-one, Tyler Smith or Jordan Davis? So, obviously, neither guy will win all of them. That's not how it works. Relative to expectations of who should win how much, I'm going to take Jordan Davis. I have been impressed by Tyler Smith so far, but Jordan Davis is an absolute freak. If it's just one rep and not like conditioning a factor, give me Jordan Davis. From $10, from Randy Stites. Tom, here's a scary stat. Packers with McCarthy from 2006 to 2008 averaged 114 penalties per season. 2006, they were 4th. 2007, they were 2nd. 2008, they were number 1 in penalties. Oh, crap. You can't tell me it's not a coaching issue when it's been a problem in the past. Now, he got to figure it out a little bit in Green Bay, but it's been a problem right now. Fix it. Like, don't just say it, you're going to make it a priority and then not have it be a priority. Right now, this Cowboys team is a bad blend of penalty-filled and actually not that physical. You can't be both. If you're going to be penalty-filled, be physical. They got out-punched too often last year, especially down the stretch. Just the King, Cowboys 10 wins, Eagles 11 wins. Thoughts? Will they both be a playoff team? I want to say flip it between the Cowboys and Eagles, so I'm going to say it in the end. I think I'm still going to bet on Dallas winning the NFC East until I see from Jalen Hurts that he can be a top half quarterback in the NFL. He's not there yet, not that far away, but he's also not that close to it. He's got some work to do as far as I'm concerned. From Tom's second kid, sign Kai Forbath. I know it's a super chat. What am I going to do? $10. 10 of them who's a Cowboy. Keep my heart for kickoffs. I'm not going to read the second part. I have zero desire to have two kickers on my team. I don't need two kickers. Like, that's such a waste of a roster. You have 53. I'm not going to commit 2% of my team to an extra kicker just so I can kick it out of the end zone, which Forbath can. It is surprising that nobody's brought in Kai Forbath for really anything. Maybe that's a sign about where he's at, but I don't want to keep two kickers. That's not fixing your problem. Cowboy Mike says bring in Ethan Ratke for a tryout. I believe that is the James Madison kicker. I have not heard a peep about him in the NFL, so I wouldn't get my hopes up from that standpoint. Austin Carey, is Tyler Smith's form still a major concern for penalties? I know he had been working on his form in the offseason. After the game, I'm still concerned. So I think the first flag was BS. Like, it was not holding. The guy was falling down. Tyler Smith did nothing wrong. The second one, he was a little late. The technique broke down, and his hands were outside the shoulder pad. It is very funny to me, the difference in, like, how we approach Tyler Smith right now versus Con Williams. I think part of it is first-round pick, second-round pick, but also first-year player, fourth-year player. The issue for Williams last year was he would be pretty good and have a couple negative plays. That's what Tyler Smith was last night, and that's okay. Patience is needed here. I think you're going to see Smith get flagged this year. That's what's going to happen with the star in his helmet and with the penalty problems he had in college, the technique issues. It was better. It's been better. He's worked really hard. I feel better about Tyler Smith right now than I did on draft night, but I also want to preach patience. He's not going to be an overnight Zach Martin 2.0. That's an unrealistic expectation. The Cowboys Report is also on Rumble. We have free and uncensored content. We have the sports. They've got politics, news, tech, and business as well. We are trying to grow to platforms you guys use. So give us a follow. Rumble.com/CowboysTV. Links in the comments and in the description. Austin Carey, aside from these three, Lamb, Gallup, and Washington, which receivers on the roster have the best traits and look the best so far? Who has the most potential for the future? So I think the obvious answer is Jalen Tolbert. Your third-round pick is the next man up there. He's the one you feel best about long-term. Best traits, I think, is Simi Fehoko. I like his size and speed blend. He had the touchdown catch in the preseason. He still has to earn a roster spot so far. And then I think Noah Brown has the best chance to make an early impact. He did not play in the preseason. There's a reason. He is a lock to make this team now. We can move him from bubble to lock. He's going to make it. He's had a great camp so far, by the way. I am curious. Man, I don't want to use the word excited quite yet. Curious to see how he fares this upcoming season. From Enorma, should Dallas go trade... Nice try there, Enorma. Should Dallas go trade for Roquan Smith? Do we want to pay $20 million to an off-ball linebacker? Admittedly, a very, very good to great one. I don't really think so. I love Roquan to be a fun addition, but if you're going to spend big money, I'm not sure linebacker is where I'd go. I would look receiver. I'd look offensive line before I would go start trying to look at options in terms of the linebacker grouping. Nate Rosario, Jerry is the problem. Needs to sell the team, get Tom Brady, LOL. Nate was trolling in the back half. First half, though, look, when it's been the same result for almost 30 years now, it's probably an issue at the very top of the team, not necessarily the coaches or players or whatever. So, yeah, blame the Joneses. I'm fine with that. From Jerry, What are Nashon Wright's chances, roster spot, practice squad cut, considering Diggs, Brown, Lewis, CJ are roster locks, Joe's 90%, one spot open? So I wouldn't consider CJ Goodwin a roster lock necessarily, or even a corner. He's not going to play anything. He's pure special teams. So I could see them carrying 6 corners plus Goodwin. That would not shock me. But it also would not shock me if the Cowboys chose to take the approach of, hey, we need to have other guys on the roster and we're going to cut somebody. I think Wright and Bland are the two fighting. Look, if we base it purely on a meritocracy, DaRon Bland was awesome against Denver. He outplayed every corner on that team. So I lean towards Wright making it, but if he gets cooked again in the next 2 preseason games, cut him. He's just not good enough then. All right, DJ Milton, we are screwed until Jimmy gets in the ring. So 2 curses right now for Dallas. Jimmy Johnson not being in the Ring of Honor, and Rowdy, the mascot. Like, that's not good. Since Rowdy's been around here, basically no playoff success for the Cowboys. Do we need to make it? Do we need to make a sacrifice? I think probably, yeah. From Larry B's, trade for Preston Williams. I mean, you can. I also don't think he's that good. I feel like adding Preston Williams gives you another, hey, if he's our 5, we feel great, but is he really our 3? You can do it. Sure, I won't be mad at it, but I also don't feel like, yes, now the receiving room is fixed. Like, he's just okay. Now, speaking of trades, I want you guys to name a player who you want to trade for. Keep it realistic. No Mahomes, no Aaron Donald, but name a player in the comments section who you guys want to trade for. The Lunatics is even Dalton Schultz making fun of Josh Ball's blocking. 5 hurries allowed in that game. I think as the game got on, he got more tired. He started off pretty fine. Thought he was good in the run game. The pass blocking from Ball was not great. I just think he's more comfortable on the right side than he's on the left side. But you are going to give reps to him on the left side. So that's the issue you have, I think, right now. Austin DHC, how much faith do you have in our backup quarterbacks? Not much. I know Cooper Rush played great, kind of, in that Vikings game, which I think will go down in Cowboys history as one of the, how did they win that football game? It's because Zeke made a great play and Amari Cooper also made a catch he had no business making. And the defense played great, too. I don't have much faith. That's okay. I think if you're being honest, there are 3 teams in the NFL who are like, yeah, we're fine if our backup goes down. That's because their starter sucks. If Seattle's starter goes down, we're fine. If Pittsburgh goes down, we're fine. If the Commanders and the Giants go down, we're fine because they don't have a good starter. So it's okay. I don't have much faith in your backup QB. It's a problem, but it's not your number 1 problem. Now, do you think the Cowboys will win a preseason game? 1 for yes, 0 for no. They began the year 0-1. Chargers and Texans wrap things up. Make your predictions for me in the comment section. From Henry Nutch, how do you see the touches being split between Pollard and Zeke? I think Pollard secures more 2-minute and passing work. I think you're going to see early on, I think Pollard's going to play some wide receiver. The thing I would like to see is, yes, let's get more touches for Tony Pollard. He needs more snaps too. Here's your stat of the day. Last year, when Tony Pollard was on the field on offense, 47% of the time, he had a handoff or a target. So a coin flip if the ball was going to Pollard when he was out there. That is a massive tell for opposing offenses or opposing defenses when you're on offense. So more snaps, more touches, and bring the ratio down percentage-wise. Cam Kramer, 3rd for Brandon Cooks. It's not happening. The Texans just paid him. Houston's not going to deal Brandon Cooks. They extended him, kept him around for the next couple years to give Davis Mills an actual good wide receiver. A trade simply will not happen. Last one, a super thanks from William Reynolds. Past or present, name your top 10 favorite NFL predictions. I wrote some down. Number 1 for me is Primetime. Neon Deion Sanders. We'll forever love that. I think Mean Joe Green is an easy one. The Bus, the playmaker for Michael Irvin, Bullet Bob Hayes. I always liked Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, the law firm. I thought that was a clever one. R.I.P. Marion the Barbarian. Manster for Randy White. Cordell / Stewart. That man invented his own position called the slash position. That's awesome. Ed Too Tall Jones, the Honey Badger. And I think maybe number one beyond Deion Sanders, Jared Lorenzen, a.k.a. the Pillsbury Throwboy. That one was iconic. Have you not heard that one, Jeremy? That's the quarterback from Kentucky, Jared Lorenzen, who I will forever love. Pillsbury Throwboy was a fantastic one. So thank you for the super thanks, William. I really do appreciate it. If we did not get to your question, there are a lot of super chats and super thanks we had to hit instead. My DMs are open. Hit me up on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney with any and all questions you guys have on the Dallas Cowboys.